Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to fill up a spread in my sketchbook, and I wanted to record this in a way that is conversational, kind of like you're on FaceTime with a friend and just chatting. Well, I don't know if that's any different than how I usually film a video, but I just wanted to iterate that I encourage you to also bring out your own sketchbook and draw along with me. And the best part is you don't even have to say anything back to me. I'll use my upper body strength to carry this conversation and you can just focus on drawing. It's almost kind of like FaceTiming a friend that just won't stop talking. If you're in the mood for that, then I hope you enjoy. And again, I invite you to pull out your own sketchbook and draw along with me. But if you don't feel like doing that, or you feel like doing something else, feel free to do that as well. Or just relax and sit back and listen as I ramble about things. Like, for example, the dream I had last night, because oh my goodness, it was awful, and I was so happy to wake up this morning and realize that it wasn't real. Oddly enough, this does require some backstory. Okay, so I just had a trip to Japan. It was just the best. It was so much fun. It was wonderful. But ever since the first time I had went to Japan back in 2019, I have been haunted by a succession of recurring dreams of forgetting my Suica card when I go back to Japan. And it got worse because in each subsequent dream, I would remember that I had been dreaming about this over and over, and I would get increasingly more frustrated with myself that I keep forgetting my Suica card. And the main frustration behind that is because I don't want to get there and like have to buy another Suica card because I already have one at home and I don't want to have two. So it's just one of those things that would bother me deeply. I am very happy to report that I did not in fact forget my Suica card for this past trip because I had everything together and kept it in my sight the entire time leading up to the trip, and I thought I am not going to let this become a reality, and thankfully it didn't. But it was funny because my husband had loaded his Suica card onto his digital wallet, so he was able to sort of very easily and quickly pass through all of the train gates. But I had my Suica card in my physical wallet, but I would always have to make sure I had my physical wallet in my hand. I would have to stop and like get it out of my bag or something if I wasn't holding it. And he was very much like, well, it's so much easier if you load it onto your phone. And I had to remind him, like, there is a reason why I need to have this physical card with me and I need to use it, because I've been so deeply troubled by these dreams I've had that if I don't physically use this card, it could cause insurmountable psychic damage to me. But he was totally right, and if I was a normal functioning human being, then I would have done it the exact same way. But the dream I had last night was somehow so much worse. It had nothing to do with forgetting my Suica card, but long story short, in this dream, all of my family was like going to Japan, like super short notice, unplanned, and I was like, oh, okay, I mean, I'll come with you guys. So it was like my parents and my husband and I, and we're in line in the security gate, and I realized I don't have my passport, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I was in such a rush, I didn't get my passport. So they let me sort of like run back to my house, but then I'm realizing, like, you know, I wear contacts. I'm like, I need to get my contact case. And there were other things, like little essentials. I wasn't trying to like get everything in the dream. I had enough sense, like, okay, I can only grab what I need because I do not have enough time. But in the dream, I had to like, I didn't just go home. I went to like all sorts of different like buildings and places where like my stuff might have been. At one point I like flew into this office building because they had an entrance above the ground, and they were so like disturbed that I had infiltrated their office building that they had came and like raided my room later. But I like didn't care because I was in such a rush. And then when I thought I finally had everything, when I turned to head back to the airport, this violent rainstorm was just like, it was a torrential downpour, and on top of that, it was one of those moments where I was trying to run and there was just like a force. I don't think it had anything to do with the rainstorm, but I just like couldn't run fast, if that makes sense. Like, I was trying to run fast and there was like a force, like it was making me run really slow. And then when I finally got to the airport, they told me that that plane had left a while ago, and all of my stuff was with my family. I was so stressed out, but they had given me my phone back, and I stood there and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I thought to ask, well, is there any other flight that I can go on? And they said, well, the next one leaves like pretty soon, so you better hurry. So I rushed through security, and security was like, the first part of security was I had to crawl inside a small box and like go through like a scanner. So that was, you know, claustrophobic. And then I go into this next underground room where there's a person getting like surgery, and it's so stressful. And the only way out is through one open brick in the underground wall, and I have to like dig out like more bricks to like make room because I can't fit through the small hole, and I ask the doctors too, like, is this the only way out? And they're like, yeah. So I'm trying to rip more bricks out of the wall to try to get out of this underground room, and then I happen to turn around and there's also like a plane platform down there, I guess, and I notice a plane approaching and then leaving, and I thought, oh well, that was probably the plane that they were talking about. So I was like trapped down there, and I didn't know what to do, and I like didn't have any of my stuff, and I was just like holding with my hands the stuff that I grabbed to get there, and it was just so terrible and stressful, and I was so happy to wake up this morning and realize it was all just a dream. But honestly, I think I would have preferred to forget my Suica cardigan than to have gone through that, because oh my goodness. But anyway, so yeah, I've taken a break from drawing for a little bit, and I'm finally getting back into it. I'm trying to get more comfortable with taking breaks, especially with art, because I feel like taking a break with art can be very risky, at least in my experience. I feel like if I take a break with art, I risk not having motivation or inspiration when I want to come back to it. But at the same time, paradoxically, breaks are so important because sometimes that mental rest is exactly what we need so that we don't burn ourselves out, or so that we come up with even better ideas. So this spread that I'm doing today, I just wanted to draw basically a bunch of things that were well within my comfort zone and that were easy for me to draw to really help me smoothly get back into things. When I really think about it though, I think the biggest stressor for me personally when it comes to taking a break from art stems primarily from my Instagram feed, oddly enough. I don't know, if just for some reason, if that weren't a factor, I don't think it would be as hard for me to just naturally take breaks when I need to and then get back into things. But because I have this record of artwork that at some points I regularly upload to, and at other points there's a gap in between my work, for some reason that's a big stressor to me. And I often get very stressed to return to it, worried that I'm not going to make things that are as good, or I'm just so sick of seeing the same things on my feed that I get this overwhelming urge to archive a bunch of posts or even like start over. I don't really get the whole like starting over with a whole new account feeling anymore, but I will say the one time that I did do that back when I was rebranding anyway, it actually was one of the most beneficial things that I could have done at the time to continue my motivation to keep doing art and stuff. But yeah, since I've done my rebrand, I don't really have that desire anymore. I think it just stemmed from wanting to rebrand. Instagram just stresses me out in general, but I'm trying to make the conscious decision to not let that happen. Like, I've honestly at this point kind of just given up on growing my audience there, and instead I'm focusing on the audience that I already have there. I'm mostly just creating for them, and I'm not worried about getting new eyes on my work on Instagram in particular, just because through many trial and error attempts, it just, at least for me, I'm just speaking for myself, it seems very futile at this point. And it's actually one of the reasons why I decided to start YouTube up again, because I was seeing a lot of success from other artists in expanding their reach and growing their audience, and honestly I feel like I've had a really good experience with it too so far. And it's also just really nice to return to my roots in a way. I used to do YouTube when I was really young, and it was a lot of fun, and honestly I forgot how much I really liked video editing and stuff, so I'm happy to finally be doing this again. I just got Procreate Dreams too, and I've been playing around with it, so I'm really looking forward to being able to upload animations again soon too. Now, it has been a while and my skills are very rusty, and they weren't honestly that great to begin with, so bear with me when I do start posting animations again. And just like with everything else, we can continue to learn and grow together. The year is drawing to a close, so I am beginning to plan all of my content for the next year, and I hope you look forward to it. I'm excited to see where this channel goes too, because I'm just as much in the dark as you are. I have no idea where it's going. Anyway, thank you as always for watching. If you like what I make and you're interested in what I do, please consider liking the video and possibly subscribing if you want to see more. My other socials will be linked down below, and if you really like what I do, if you consider supporting me on Patreon, I would be so grateful. I would be so happy if you were to join our little latte art club. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.